Look at that. Well, this might get a little awkward. Stray is the popular new cat game on the market. Very popular, as it seems. It's currently sitting at 97% positive on Steam, and it's picking up awards all over the place. But now that I've played it myself, I have to say, and don't hate me for this, I just don't think that it's very good. Let's talk about why. Stray is a game with a simple premise. You play as a cat, obviously. When an unfortunate accident sends your feisty feline plummeting into the abyss, it's up to you to navigate a grim post-apocalyptic world, trying to find your way back to the surface. In order to succeed, you'll have to navigate yourself through a grim post-apocalyptic world, where humanity is long gone and has been replaced by these friendly helper robots. You'll have to explore, make new friends, solve a few puzzles, and avoid the swarms of ravenous zerks that lurk out in the environment. The gameplay of Stray is very straightforward. You are a cat, and you mostly do cat-like things. Explore your environment, climb up on stuff, find your way into tiny little spaces, collect items, and also do a little bit of puzzle solving. It sounds good enough, but this is easily the weakest part of the whole game for me. But I'll come back to that in a minute. Let's start with a good first. I have to admit, playing as a cat is pretty neat. You do a lot of cat-like things, you can meow, scratch, climb around. It's woven pretty well into the gameplay, and I have to admit, I do like that. The world design is pretty nice too. There's a good variety of environments, and it's sort of a mix of post-apocalypse and slightly cyberpunk vibes. It sort of alternates between the ruins that humanity left behind long ago, but also dips its toes into a sort of vaguely cyberpunkish sort of vibe, where you're navigating grim, neon-lit urban environments populated by robots. The robot people as well are pretty well fleshed out. There's a lot of detail to the world, a lot of indication as to how these people, such as they are, live now, buying things, going to bars, having entertainment and social lives. It's remarkably detailed, and I have to give it credit for that. I really enjoyed that part of it. But then we get on to the things the game doesn't do very well. For one, the robots. It's nice that they're so detailed, and I like the way they blend into the world, but it's hard to build an emotional connection. They don't really talk, and they're not very expressive, and the game wants you to care about them and the outcomes of their lives, and I just wasn't feeling it very much. This is made even harder by the fact that your protagonist is a cat, and can't really connect to them on any level, can't speak or commiserate or offer any commentary on the world as it is. I know this seems almost blasphemous, but I wonder if the game would have been improved in this regard if the protagonist wasn't a cat, if they were a human or human-like creature, someone with an actual stake in the world, something to gain or lose, some way to build empathy between your character and the characters you interact with. I think that was a big blow to the game that really lessens the emotional impact of a lot of what's going on around you. There are just no stakes for your character. Another issue that I had is that a few of the things that are built up in the story just never have any kind of payoff. The Zerks, the metal-eating insect creatures that plague you throughout most of the game, are built up pretty well. There's even a sort of mini-climax in the middle of the game, and then they're completely abandoned and you don't see a single one. They also try to build up a theme of class system and oppression with the robot world, but even though it's sort of built up in the second and third acts of the game, it isn't really resolved in a satisfying way, and it only gets a tiny nod in the game's ending as to how it might have played out. The ending too is kind of disappointing. I don't want to give any of it away, but it just kinda happens, and I didn't really find it satisfying, to be honest. But the worst part of it all, as I said before, is the gameplay. Or I guess more the lack of gameplay, because there hardly is any. The platforming that you do is completely challengeless. You walk up to a ledge, you press a button, and you jump. There's no risk of falling, there's no mechanical skill or platforming involved, it just happens. The puzzle solving, such as it is equally shallow. It mostly just involves finding things in a room, or bringing an item from one character to another character in another part of the map. The most challenging aspects of the game would probably be either the stealth sections or the chase sections, but even then, I hardly died more than a few times. There's just no challenge there. On the whole, the game is just really easy, and as a result, kind of boring. I understand this is going to be a contentious point for some people, and if all you care about is environment and storytelling, and you don't really care about much else, then you'll probably like this game just fine. But for me, I really need more gameplay in my games, and this really did not satisfy me in that regard. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I realize I'm probably the odd man out here, and a lot of what I said isn't going to be very popular, so if you want to let me know what you enjoyed about the game, or if you want to tell me why I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Alright, take care.